Anyone flying Alaska Airlines starting in 2026 or beyond, they're going to have to make one simple choice. Regardless if you're brand new or a long-time standing member, everyone will have to make a choice on how they will earn points going forward. And before you laugh at point schmoints, this one simple choice can help you and your family save hundreds of dollars a year depending on what you choose. Starting in 2026 and beyond, Alaska Airlines will now offer you on how to choose you want to earn your award points plus your status points. There are 3 options. Number 1, distance-based. This is very similar to the old Alaska mileage plan program. This is where you are earning award points and status points depending on the number of miles you travel/fly. Number 2, amount paid. This is similar to many other airline programs. The number of points that you receive is proportional to the amount that you pay. So for every $1 that you spend, you get 5 points that you'll receive on both award and status points. And for families that choose this option, if you do an award redemption, you will earn 1 point for every 20 points redeemed. And finally, number 3, this is a segment flown. You will receive 500 base points for every segment that you fly, regardless of distance and how much you paid. All right, it's time to run some numbers. Let's knock out the easiest option for most families, which is choice number 3, segments flown. Let's say one of your parents in the family is a business traveler. They fly in and out of a client office every week in a year, so you do 52 times a year. In theory, this is the business traveler that Alaska Airlines is trying to target with this specific option. Let's do some quick math. There's 52 weeks a year times 2 segments, assuming you're a round trip. So that's 104 segments a year at 500 base points per segment. That's a total of 52,000 points and status points. 52,000 status points would unlock Atmos Gold tier level for you. And for the majority of families, this might be the upper tier in terms of what you could hit if you had a business traveler inside your family. Now that we know kind of an upper tier of what families can hit, let's look at what is the baseline amount for you to hit one of the lower tiers, such as Atmos Silver. Let's do quick math for Atmos Silver tier, which requires 20,000 status points. At 500 base points per segment, this would mean that you would need to fly 40 segments per year. Now that we know some upper and lower limits, what if this business traveler gets reimbursed by their company and they can pay for cash using their own credit card? I used to fly SF to LAX for work. Looking on Alaska Airlines website, the main cabin fare is around $135 one way. Now let's take that $135 and apply it to that business traveler that flies every single week, that top tier upper limit that we're talking about. At $135 per one way, at 104 segments equals around $14,000 a year. What if that business traveler had selected the paid option? Therefore, you would earn 5 points for every dollar spent, and that means you would earn both 70,000 award points and 70,000 status points at the same time. So the difference between selecting segments and cash is around 18,000 award points and status points for this specific business flyer who flies every week for work. Even the business flyer who flies every single week short haul, less than 500 miles, would still possibly net out better with a paid fare, assuming your average fare is $135 per way. But hey, Eric, but $135 for one way, isn't that more expensive than usual? Okay, let's take, for example, $135 is the total round trip for 2 flights from SFO to LAX. Therefore, you would divide the 70,000 points by 2, and you would only end up with 35,000 award points plus status. So therefore, at 35,000 award and status points, this would be lower than the 52,000 points if you had chosen the segment flown option. It ultimately boils down to what price you get versus the segment that you've flown. $65 for main cabin fare seems pretty hard for most business travelers unless you're planning it really far ahead, which is unlikely. So if you're a family that doesn't even have a traveler that flies more than 20 round trips a year, skip to the next section. And for families that do have frequent business travelers, based on the math above, if you can consistently hit 135 round trip for business flights for what you're holding, then the segments flown option might be better for you. Say your average business trip is costing 135 one way because you're a main cabin fare and you're booking last minute, then I would recommend using paid option as the way to go. All right, now that we've covered the option that most families do not fall into, let's cover the two options that most families will actually be considering between. And to help us, let's look at three different types of families to help us run those numbers. Family number one is a family that will fly one specific big domestic trip, say like West Coast to East Coast round trip. Family number two is a family that will do one big family international trip, say like West Coast to Asia or West Coast to Europe. West Coast family right here. Family number three is a family that has a lot of disposable income and they can spend their way to premium products instead of using reward points. Let's assume your family selected paid fares as your way to go. Reminder, it's 5 points for every dollar spent. Number one is a family that kind of saves up their money and does one big trip in a year. Let's say you want to fly from West Coast to Hawaii or West Coast to Mexico or Midwest. Let's assume that person got a great deal, $300 round trip on Alaska Airlines. That's a pretty good deal. That person would earn 5 points for every dollar spent, and that you would get 1,500 award points / status points at the same time. Unfortunately, this wouldn't get you much. Let's now look at, say you wanted to redeem that same flight using award redemptions. At 15,000 one way, that's a pretty easy award redemption to find on Alaska Airlines. So both ways would be 30,000 total. At 20 points redeemed per one status point, that would equal 1,500 status points, which is roughly the same as if you were able to land a $300 round trip ticket. Family number two would like to fly an international flight during holiday school season. I specifically caveated during school that you're going to be flying during school season, which means that the prices are going to be a little bit higher versus the low season fares. Let's say the family wants to fly SFO to Asia. It's during Christmas season. It's $1,500 right now as of filming. And if you were able to take off, say October, it would be like $900 and way cheaper. Or the family could do like two smaller trips, say $600 to Hawaii and another $600 to Mexico. But ultimately, I'm going to say that one person averages around $1,250 spent per year on Alaska Airlines. At 5 points per dollar, that means you're going to receive $62.50 on award points and status points. Let's look at if you were to redeem that same international flight at 70,000 points in economy round trip. That would also be 3,500 status points. So you can see that it's actually better, that you would receive more status points in this specific example if you had spent $1,250 in cash. Family number three, the big spenders. This is a family that's willing to spend more than $10,000 combined total on an Alaska Airlines. If you look at just Alaska Airlines business class right now, international, it can range from like $3,000 to like $7,000. So for a family of four, it would be easily to hit over $10,000 of spend total with Alaska Airlines. Let's just say we pick a big, easy number of $3,500 is how much you spent total on Alaska Airlines for this one nice business class trip that you're flying. That means total you would earn 17,500 award and status points. But since you're flying a premium product, you would now increase their bonus depending on what you choose. So if you find international premium or international first class, here are the bonus points that is the bonus percentage that you would apply. And here are the final numbers on the screen that show what you would actually be getting. By adding the bonus, you would easily hit the Atmos Gold tier for this one single flight by spending $3,500. And let's look quickly at redeeming those same flights. $75K per flight in Business Saver, 20 points redeemed per point. That would be 7,500 status points. That was a lot of numbers. I wanted to throw three different types of scenarios and numbers at you so that you can compare it. When you choose option one, their old distance-based model, you would earn award points and status points based on how far you fly. Family number one, let's say they fly SF to Orlando, that's 2,100 nautical miles. That means round trip, they're gonna earn 4,200 award and status points. But wait, that's not the example you used earlier on. Well, let's divide that 4,200 points by 5, and that would give you $840. So for that same trip flying from SFO to Orlando, if you can get a price that is lower than $840, it's better to fly distance. But if your price is higher, about $840, then amount paid would be better. Most high season fares from SFO to Orlando is going to be below $840. So for this specific example, better to go with the distance option. All right, family number 2, they do this big international trip a year. Let's say you do SFO to Hong Kong or SFO to London. That's 6,000 miles one way and $46.50 for London. That means round trip, you can earn 12,000 for the Asia example and 9,300 for the Europe example. From the earlier math example, I used $1,250, which is roughly between the high and low season. I run those numbers and you only get 6,250 award and status points. So for a family that's flying economy internationally to Asia or Europe, it looks like the numbers say that it's better to do distance-based. Let's look at family number 3, big spenders. Let's say you're flying SFO to Asia and you're paying premium fares. Let's say that you do Hong Kong, for example, is 1,200 nautical miles round trip. Even if you're applying the premium fare bonus points multiplier onto your calculation, you would roughly earn 30,000 award points and status points. Versus above, when you paid cash, here are the numbers. This means for mega whales, that you would actually be better choosing the paid option versus distance flown, even if the trip is a long international flight. And this is what I really like about the new Alaska Airlines Atmos program. You have an option for the frequent business traveler, say segments flown. You have an option that's great for families that fly a little bit or even one big trip a year internationally in economy. And for those families kind of afford it, you can actually have an option where you pay for premium products, and that would actually be better if you chose the paid option. And hence, this actually surprised me that Alaska Airlines has designed a program that fits a lot of families. Ultimately, my family is an economy-based traveler. We fly in the back a lot. So in 2026, our family will be choosing the distance-based option. And reminder, if you do not select an option in the beginning of the year, you will be defaulted to the paid option, which is bad. And now that we've covered all the goodness from the new Atmos Rewards program, did you know that they actually dropped some bad news right after and didn't tell you about it? If you want to learn more, check out this next video.